Shalom, shalom. It's not GMS lesson come back at you. Before I do get into this lesson, I want to start by giving all honor, glory, and praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechah HaKodash. Next up, the bonus of my apostles and elders, great millstone, taught me the 100% truth of the Bible, and who rule well. Peace, love, salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all diligence and sincerity. You know, I just want to jump right into a little one edifying lesson. The title is going to be, nuclear destruction is biblical, man. Right? Nuclear missiles is biblical, right? Because it is. This next war, this World War III, that's already, festering up and making this happening through the spirit and probably how about Shemayel Shai through prophecy, right? It's going to be fought with what? Nuclear destruction. Nuclear arsenal, right? Nuclear weaponry. So let's jump right into this. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, right? What's the first woe? What's the second woe? Right? World War I, World War II, right? These wars right here have the death tolls of these wars, right? You know what I'm saying? Man. They have the numbers of millions and millions of people who died in these wars, right? But you can't even really trust Esau with every figure, every number that he pops out, right? These are the two most deadliest wars, right? And what this third world war is going to top that, right? It says, "Behold, the third woe cometh quickly," right? It wasn't too long ago when World War II happened, man. In the eyes of the Lord, that was in the blink of an eye, man. Right? Less than a century ago. I believe it was only 70 years ago, 60-something, 70 years ago, man. Right? So in the grand scheme of things, man, it wasn't that far along, man. And this war is rapidly approaching. It's right around the corner. How do we know that? Right? 2 Ezra 9 and 1. Measure thou the times diligently in itself, right? How do you measure the times? What's the ruling stick? What's the measuring stick? This Bible, right? The 1611 King James Bible, right? Through the prophecies, the breakdowns, right? And so with the apostles, elders, great millstone, all the sincere brothers on down, right? Have the prophecies, have the breakdowns, right? To tell you what's going on, right? And then you read, and then you get the understanding, and you relay it back to what's really happening in the world, man, right? Because the prophecies are speaking, right? And this third war. So if this third war is coming, what is it going to be fought with, man? Let's get there real quick. Yep. This is Isaiah 9 and 5, and it reads, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." Right. So, you take a look at these old movies, Troy, Braveheart, watching your shows, the Game of Thrones, right? You can just go on and on and on, right? It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." What's the confused noise? You got horses galloping, you got war drums beating, you got men screaming, crying, swords sheathing, right, unsheathing, shing, clanking against each other, hitting other shields, right? Catapults, unleashing stuff, men crying, screaming, right? Garments rolled in blood, hand-to-hand combat, up close. One army standing on one side, the other army standing on the other side, yelling, screaming, running towards each other. That's how the old wars were fought, right? But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So what is that talking about? That's talking about this nuclear war, this third world war that's going to pop off, right? The wars that we've recently seen, somewhat have been fought like that, not to this extent, right? But you got, the development of these nuclear weapons, right? So how do you think this war is going to be fought? Right? Yeah, you're going to have troops on the ground, but what's going to be the deciding factors, right? the end all be all, right? I was listening to a podcast and somebody was asked, do you think Vladimir Putin, right, in Russia, you think he would push the button? He's like, yeah, I think he pushed the button if he felt like, he had no other choice. And that's what's going to happen. The Lord's going to put the spirit on these higher ups, these higher powers, these elites, right, to make that call. Because they're going to feel like they have no other choice, right? They're going to be pushed to that point, right? These missiles, right, are not being built to be put on display in the museum to show what almost happened, what could have happened. Nah. Kim Jong-un ain't over there testing, ain't starving his people, right, to death, right, to test out, to build up his nuclear capability just for shits and giggles, man. No, this is a real thing. This is really going to happen, man, right? Let's get something else on that. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And it reads, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Right. So a plague. The Lord is going to send a plague onto the earth against all them who have fought against Jerusalem. Right. Who's fought against Jerusalem? Of course, our enemies. Starting off with the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, on down to these other nations, right? So-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, so-called African, so-called Arabs, so-called East Indians, right? All of them, right? I know I'm missing some, but all these other nations, right? But then also you got 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites who have fought against Jerusalem, right? To this day, mock and scoff, talk junk, right? Kill the prophets, right? In different times, right? But that's going to happen upcoming soon, right? They're already, come against us with that attitude, with that spirit, right? What do you think these jakes are going to do when they know that, a brother in the truth, right? Hey, look, man, and when they starving, when they ain't got no money, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? You turn them in, we'll make sure you got food, make sure you got a place to stay. All you got to do is turn in your son, your brother, your cousin, right? Or or your niece, your nephew, whoever believes in this thing. Oh, and take this this grain of rice, take this Strong's G54 and 80, and you'll be set. We'll drop money on it. All you gotta do is turn them in. Tell us, Slakia. Yeah, all you gotta do is tell us where they stand. Slakia Jake riding past with no brakes. I'm gonna read that again. This is Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. So just saying all that to say, these heathens and 2/3 of our people fight against us, man. Fight against our own people, right? As far as the 2/3 of our people, right? Along with the heathens. It reads, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. What on earth could do that? What can consume your flesh while you're standing on your feet? What could consume your eyes while they're in their sockets? And your tongue while it's in your mouth, man? We're talking about nuclear fire, nuclear destruction. Look back to what was it? Terminator 2, Judgment Day. The ending scene, Sarah O'Connor, she got her hands on the fence. Right? Look it up on YouTube, about a 20-second clip. Right? Flesh burning away on her. She's screaming. You can see her skeleton screaming. Right? And you don't know the power of the Lord, man. Right? The Lord can keep your spirit in your body for as long as He wants to. He can have you feeling that for as long as He wants you to. Right? So just saying to say, this is prophesying about nuclear destruction. A nuclear fire, right? A second death. So let's go. I got a Couple more, and I'm gonna grab it. And I'm just closing on out. All right. This is This is it's like this is Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, right? And sound an alarm in my holy mountain, right? That's what the men of the Lord doing. That's what we're doing with these shows, going on to the highways and byways, right? Warning you, Jakes, of what's to come. It reads, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, talking about Israel, right? Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, right? The day of the Lord, right, isn't it is more than, it just entails more than just, the Lord returning. It also entails, the days leading up, right? And what the Lord, when he returns, he's going to return simultaneously, right? While this place is being destroyed. This place being America, aka Babylon the Great, right? And any other place that the Lord has controversy with, because America going to shoot missiles too, right? But then the Lord going to simultaneously save the elect. Lord willing, we be a part of that number, right? But what it says, let the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Letting you know that the day of the Lord ain't just peaches and cream, man. Right? Verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So let's move on. Verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. What is it talking about? This great people, this strong people, right? It's talking about the missiles. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Because you look at America, America still got some beautiful parts. It's still whole, as for the most part. You know what I mean? It's still, a lot of land, a lot of trees. Everything's still standing. Everything, to the masses, everything is hunky dory, right? It reads, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. Right? The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. Horses represents power, right? And as horsemen, so shall they run, right? Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Right. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. Just think about back, I forgot what date it was, maybe a couple of years, when that false alarm in Hawaii went off, right? People were shitting bricks, man. Not knowing what to do, running to and fro, calling family members, crying, screaming. And that the missiles won't even hear, man. Missiles won't even come in. Little false alarm, little test from Esau Eden, they have mugs shaking in their boots a little bit. But what? That's the type of fear that, nuclear destruction brings upon people, right? That's why we're warning you. That's why we're trying to tell you what's to come, right? It reads, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, right? And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks, right? Because once these missiles get shot off, and once they cross these borders, man, they coming down, man. Right? Once they put those coordinates in, right, to be shot off, right, and where they going, right, the Spirit of the Lord is going to be on the missiles, and they're not going to miss, man. Right? They're coming down no matter what. So, with that, I'm go ahead and, wrapping on up, closing on out, but I'm going to definitely, Lord willing, do a part 2 of this. So, peace and love to your elect. Shalom.